poem that I've written is called It's Time to Grow. To change, to grow, to wait, go slow. How should one know? How should one know? I asked the butcher. He said, go fast. The baker replied, go slow, come last. It doesn't matter where you land. Tomorrow it will be history. Your old lines drawn in the sand will suddenly cease to be. That's what change entails. Have no doubt. It's the process of letting go, letting the old things out. For some, it takes longer. For others, that's not so. However long it takes, one thing's for sure. This change is what will bring back the glow to a life gone drab, an existence untrue. This growth in its wake can take away the blues. Change can also be the cause of your blues, to help you refine dormant cul-de-sacs of the mind, parts of your nature stagnated in time, while folk ease their pain using rhythm and rhyme. The blues in themselves are not so bad. They're simply a release for folk feeling sad. As for the listeners, many relate to the depths of change each soul can penetrate. So make way for change. Do it right now. Take a leap, take a jump, no matter who, what, where, or how. We all know when it's time to change. You're feeling kind of rough. Something inside's telling you, move out, get on, try your luck. It may take some upheaval to help you get unstuck. It's time to pull your sleeves up and dig out the muck. As you find new ways to set yourself free from the limits you set on your own identity, you'll start living fresh, living anew, thanks to the process that change took you through. So you can change, you can grow, whether you move quickly or simply go slow. When change is inevitable, we all know. So make way for change. It's time for you to glow. I said make way for change. It's time for you and you and you and you to glow. Thank you.
He said, let's hit the sound. It's all good, we gonna rock. Here we go. Check it out, it's like this. Come on. The glory's back, just like it never left. The beat is banging, the rhymes stay fresh, We take steps on those paths that's paved on our gracious return to the glorious days. You know what? The glory's back, just like it never left. The beat is banging, the rhymes stay fresh, We take steps on those paths that's paved on our gracious return to the glorious days. They say the glory faded, well, Kimba gonna reshade it, cause style is my color, fresh paint when I frame it. Behold, the big picture worth more than entertainment. Being famous, how big or long your chain is? Nah, back to fabulous, tribe roots and cannabis. Slick Rick, rock Kent when rapping was a catalyst. Analyst to show you what the talent is. Beats, rhymes, and life to overcome the challenges. We back at it with jewels, no black suey, just rules. The game's broke, we gon' give them the tools. Look here, slick rhymes and spit shine. And big minds and street cats flicking like big signs. Streetwise with some big ideas that professors couldn't see through some thick eyewear. So we wrote it in graffiti for the vision impaired, until the world realized it was the vision we shared. You hear it? The glory's back. Come on, the beats is banging. We take steps on the path that's paved on our gracious return to the glorious days. You know what? The glory's back.
Never left.
Come on, the beats is banging.
I stay fresh.
We take steps on the path that's paved on our gracious return to the glorious days. What the government, the schools, and religion couldn't do, got accomplished through hip-hop's chosen few. To break those systems down, rebuild them new. Giving people one view, a commonwealth for knowledge. Street kings, no college. Beautiful ghetto queens, natural with no polish. Putting love on the line and love in our lines. To out of darkness, we let our love shine until the whole world fell in love with our minds. Our faith, our hope, and huge imagination. The self-belief, we were born for greatness. Though the background where we were found was makeshift. Place where a slum dog was quick to catch a gun charge. Now even presidents be like, yo, son's hard. Fairy tale story told through rhymes. With God's given power to blow your mind. It's back, the glory's back, just like it never left. The beats is banging,
I stay fresh.
come on, we take steps on those paths is pain. On our gracious return to the glorious days. You know why? The glory's back, just like
It never left.
come on, the beats is banging.
I stay fresh.
We take steps on those paths is paid. On our gracious return to the glorious days. You know, you can take me out, bro.
Okay. Sexy sentences. The curves of my cursive coupled with the liberation of my vocabulary is a cause for celebration unleashed on a blank page. Suggestively splicing commas to enhance my comprehension, I strive sonnets and soliloquies to stimulate their senses. My preference for punctuation to leave you speechless unless marked like a question is exclaimed by the words in my imperatives.
Damn.
Penchant for poetry compels me to consciously craft the expressions of emotions that awakens your soul. Simple in no way, you'll find I'm more the compound, complex kind. Aligned like a margin, providing the guide to be followed. My vivacious vowels and colossal consonants complement each other, creating balance on every line. Preparing paragraphs proffers the opportunity to visualize our verbs, navigate with nouns, access adjectives, and assimilate adverbs. Metaphorically speaking, I'm seeking hieroglyphs for deeper meaning when we explore intertextuality's reasoning. Seductively, my similes surrender in service of cultivating understanding through construction of thought expressed by letters, oscillating between onomatopoeia and oxymoron. You find my mind flooded with waves of expression, buoyant on the nib of my stylus. Dreamz She Wrote.
Damn.
Love costs everything. You approach with your portfolio on display, appearing to have assets that attract, claiming you're willing to divide, not subtract, so that we can be equals. Exchange digits, a financial affair, we pay attention to our return on interest. I'm figuring you prefer to bond for a fixed term. There's always a percentage of risk, but taking stock, the liability seems marginal. Definitely in the black, the Spice Union could prove lucrative, with possible yields that one are life-changing. As I peruse your potential, you address my mental with a proposal for pensions to be procured promptly. My hedged funds remind me not to put all of my eggs into one basket, because all that glitters is not gold, and there is always the option that this deal could fold. Predicting preferential rates for fidelity, I choose not to withdraw. I'm looking for surety that your words match with your deeds. Feed leads that lead us to leverage up. Compound progression is the goal. I decline a downward turn. In tough times, we show resilience by backing each other. The investment is clear, a merger. Force majeure proof, joint accountability in all aspects, margins balanced like chakras. We both deposit our emotions and cash out to avoid volatility. Acquisitions of a limited company, shareholders staking claims to each other's names, gains, bound to the bounty, tied up in the trust, forever now. We boom, not bust. Dreamz She Wrote.
Damn.
So when we evangelize in the street, we go up to the London.
Just be running for the word of God. Just be coming for the word of God. Can't be gunning with the word of God. Love it with the word of God. Running for the word of God. Trust me, coming for the word of God. Can't be gunning with the word of God. Love it with the word of God. Running for the word of God. See these men on the road, they be running for the word of God. That's why we gotta take it to them. We have to evangelize to them for going to their places. It sounds a bit like this. My man, the roots as demons. Get kicked out and stretch real quick, like who do you think you're deceiving? My bros never begging bread, not underachieving. Let me say why I serve it, cause that's not the only reason. I tell my story, give them a glory, testimony. I ain't trying to give these things my flesh, even if I'm don't phone me. Not my will, his will be done, man, get to know me. Swing my sword in the spirit when the devil tries to make me lonely. And what's your problem? Let man know when I get my walking. Pray man up in the spirit, worship him till I'm looking dopey. King of the Jews knows what I like and gives me a holy. Ain't getting involved in your sinful life, don't try to involve me. I've done your dance and it's demon led. I'm more focused on new wine, not cheese and bread. I don't care what Propo say, it's what Jesus said. King of the Jews, winning or lose, he's the best. Watch me running for the word of God. Trust me, coming for the word of God. Can't be gunning with the word of God. And be loving with the word of God. Must be running for the word of God. Trust me, coming for the word of God. Can't be gunning with the word of God. Yeah. Running for the word of God. Running for the word of God. Running for the word of God. It's a legendary bar. When this gets released, you're gonna remember this. Ready? Flicky. As we're moving, flicky. You so active, iffy. When I lay hands on you quickly. Drippy. Back on my shoulder, drippy. Worship the Lord, hands up high. Got my feeling trippy. Get tuned in a jiffy. Anointing got my swinging like it's swingy. Spots control no indie. Grass is in me. What's man's vibe? Man's praying with the goose tonight. Take your life. Like I take my life. Take your life and give it to Christ. Let everyone be seated high. It's Hebrews 9. Cleanse from sin and death by the blood of Christ. Watch me running for the word of God. Trust me, coming for the word of God. Can't be gunning with the word of God. Man be loving with the word of God. Must be running for the word of God. Trust me, coming for the word of God. Can't be gunning with the word of God. Man be loving with the word of God.
Tyrone though.
Yo. I don't know what everything I do, I don't know what. Yeah, thank you guys for coming to my show. I'm going to perform a poem, and the poem's called What Is Your Name? And here it goes. What is your name? When someone says your name, what's the first thing you think about? And is it better than the last? You see, your name is associated with your future and your past.
Say that again.
Over time,
say it again.
Your name is associated with your future, oh I pointed that way, and your past.
Okay, it's working.
But over time, people run your name through the mental database, like their mind is working overtime.
Jeez.
Building both positive and negative perceptions of you. I mean, your hope is true, but let's be real, it's false. It's the same type of hope that a person will go to McDonald's, asking for a milkshake, knowing that the ice cream machine is broken. It's all nonsense. What people think of you doesn't make your name. So then, what is your name? For me, it means, what can you make of yourself? If you don't believe in something, then why do it? Money? So money makes you survive. For other people, it's a little bit of money they can get to keep their family alive. You see, everybody's situation is different. We all are liquids trying to fit into a shape that makes us who we are. Which really means it doesn't matter who you are or what you're trying to be, everybody's story is different. Just like the name. I mean, your name is what you make it. And if you don't tell your story, they will never know your name. So let me ask you again, what is your name? My name's Tyrone Vision on Instagram. Thank you guys for having me.
I'm in a box, I'm underground. Can't breathe or move, to fears I'm bound. The smoke is dark, my lungs are tight. Too scared to scream, too weak to fight. My childhood hope, a sunken dream. A sick and withering wreck. My tears, my pain, an anchor. Wrapped tight around my neck. Dad, can you hear me? Silence. Okay, I'll try again. Actually, I know, he's hiding. I close my eyes and count to 10. Dad, why can't you hear me? Why don't you answer back? Is it me? I'll change, I'll try. But why? Please just tell me that. The last call hurts the most, I think. Have I done something wrong? I feel someone there, but it's not him. The dad I know is gone. The mask he wears conceals his soul, a shadow self confined. Perhaps his mask reveals his truest form, and all this time he lied. I hold his hand, but he lets go. He drifts right before my eyes. Doesn't he like me anymore? It's not this. He just loves his new disguise. His face has changed, his voice reframed. I often ask God how. That's how addiction works, my child. He can't love you just right now. I wonder how he does this. He doesn't seem that lost. He seems to have found himself, in fact. My sister and I, the cost. Sorry, it's just frozen. I wake up and it's Christmas Day. First time I've held his hand since May. Unhappy? No, he seems okay. Thank God he loves me, at least today. Dad, can you hear me? Silence. He never came to stay. I wonder if what works on him will help fix my pain today. And so it goes, I bury my woes. No tears at first, I smile. Everyone seems to like this me. Pain suppressed for a while. Fran, can you hear me? Silence. My mum screams with all her might. I now can't say a word. I've become that shadow in the night. I've numbed my pain completely. For loss, I'm well prepared. My fears live inside a bottle now. No longer weak, no longer scared. Fran, you've got a problem. Stop, I think, they'll blow it. I can't go back to that child I was, but then before I know it. I'm in a box, I'm underground, can't breathe or move, to fears I'm bound. The smoke is dark, my lungs are tight, too scared to scream, too weak to fight. Hello, I say, but no one comes. Not dad, not mum, just me. I know exactly where I am. My eyes are free to see. I'm covered in soil, thick brown mud. I'm in an early grave. I drowned my pain and it buried me. I became the dad I couldn't save. And so I chose to change this year. I'll be 5 months sober in May. So thanks, but no, I won't have just one. Not tomorrow, not today.
Come on.
Okay, so the first one's called March. Onwards you fall, the slow march of spring, a pitiful folly of life against unknowable odds. Take no heed of the darkness that envelops the very universe around you. Take no notice the brightness of the skies, a disguise built for your eyes to hide an empty void. Walk your path as those did before you, cannon fodder to the perils that have already begun, to squeeze on your existence, to suffocate your life with its finite resources. What is, I say. What is it, I ask, jeers the very universe that makes you march. I have no choice, said the seedling light, for I am dance and I am thrill, song and flight, and I will call into you as you jeer into me across the infinity you speak of. An infinite canvas of beautiful starred, an infinite canvas of beautiful black, starred by an infinite canvas of sprites. And we will make merry, and we will dance, and we will court you until you two swirl with our rhythm, for that is the balance of things. As each of our stars shine, as our trees grow, do we not cast shadows for you to live within, to witness creation there within? Come now, stop your protest and march with us, fools, and watch. The next chapter begins. To my fauna, observation and reflection. Is there a flower in nature that hides its bloom? Of course, the answer is yes. Whether it be reflecting only certain kinds of light or warping shape to let in only complementary lover, the sweetest of nectars are hidden from those who would seek them. The conditions in which these flowers grow usually imply a reason, a need, a competition, a sinking distinction to survive their given circumstance. These matches bring life to barren tundras and balance to abundance. The cost of such a gift of lock and key, the Schrödinger room that lies beyond, not seen nor heard, not able to provide its fireside warmth to those who would want it, who would need it and share in its glow. A room of requirements is no room at all if its requirements outweigh the needs of all. So in my way, I must cast away fauna's guard, its harsher tones and gnashing teeth, throw the dog a juicy bone, and not to say to let in any old soul, but push through the keyhole of my protected soul, grow seedling growth, 10 blossom bloom, to let that buzzing, bumbling bee to see, to show them where to go. A match made possible through dance and strife of countless pairs of nature, bonds of balance whose scales are kept by love of life. Break mirrors, break teeth, break skulls, break bread. Not so much with others, but first yourself instead. How many billion people within this watershed? You can't make all of them happy, you can't make all of them love you. But if you love what is within and your capacity, to serve and sin, then and only then can you love them unconditionally. Traditionally, the unconditional love is one I would shy away from. Too passive, too forgiving, with emotions part of life. With emotions part of what we are, you have to bite out at someone, right? Vengeance for the plight that you feel coursing through you, ready to peel the flesh right off your skin. Blood white hot, whiter than your fake ass grin. More gritting your teeth at life, whose every moment echoes your life's injustice. Turn water into piss, give life's finest moments a miss. For from your certainty, life's dough turns sour. For this hour is an opportunity to share what you feel, and with the love inside, nor the wisdom to appeal to your inner self, nor the connection to your inner wealth. The mind is blocked, stocked up, a contagious pox of pure spite. It's fucked up, but with a little luck, and with a little fresh toast of ideas, fresh ingredients, the discipline to hold yourself obedient, the principles of life's oven, you can rise, my friends. Satan beware, the body of Christ is here to share.
This is her first time, I believe. Nicole?
And it's called One of Many. One of many. I've lived a life that many will not believe because they thought they knew me. But all along the years, I've learned how to master hiding my true identity, just like Esther for such time as this. Being an actress, it is easy to make people believe something that it is not. I became known, but I'm still unknown. This is my story. Yes, you all knew me, and may still have the old picture of who I was in your mind. But although some parts of this picture is what I painted myself for the world to see, but some fine drawings within is me. Like the saying goes, a picture has 1,000 words. Here are my words. Born on the 26th of November 1998, Kinshasa, DRC Congo, I am last born, one of many. Open bracket, between 20 to 25 kids, only God knows, close brackets, my dad. At the age of 2, I died twice within the space of about 10 minutes. God preserved my life, and this is how. So my mum was at a church, and some churches back home at the back of the church is roofless. My mum holding me in her arms, and she looks up and sees the witch only she can see. He's at the front of the church, on top of the roof, looking for who he may devour. Fixating her eyes on them while praying fervently, the witch comes down from the roof to the front of the church. In the blink of an eye, he's disappeared. All of a sudden, my mum is in so much pain and needs the toilet, but she refuses to put me down, especially after seeing the witch. She goes back home, which was 2 houses away, and leaves me with my fast asleep nan. And she goes to wee, and when she comes back, my eyes are spinning around and around and around. Simultaneously, I'm having diarrhea. In panic, I'm brought to the hospital. Everything that was going in my mouth was coming up my bum within seconds. All the while of this happening, my mum was still praying within. Once again, the urge to go to the toilet comes back. My mum leaves me with my nan and goes up to the toilet. She comes back to the room to a dead baby. This time, instead of my eyes spinning around and around, it froze, looking up. And at that time, my mum remembered 2 days ago, she watched a Nollywood movie. My mother had just given birth, and a friend came to visit and held the baby. The mother trusted her friend to hold her newborn baby, but all along the friend was a witch. And as she held the baby, physically, she's in a room rocking the baby side to side, but spiritually, she brought the baby to the sea for a sacrifice. A newborn baby, exclamation mark. My mum refused to cry or be in panic. Instead, she set my nan to go back to the church we came from. It was just before 6 a.m. and it was an all-night service. So my mum knew the church was just about to finish. My nan got the pastor and other servants from the church to come to the hospital to pray. But all along, my mum hadn't stopped her praying. Praying, praying, praying. My mum goes to one corner of the room and screams out, I know my child's soul is still in here. She's not dead, she's alive. And at that moment when the Holy Spirit took hold of her body and she shouted out, I take my child's soul back from the hands of the enemy. I take my child's soul back from the hands of the enemy. As she's repeating this, she's also physically pulling my soul back. I take my child's soul back from the hands of the enemy. I take my child's soul back from the hands of the enemy. And after a few repetitions in faith, she did a big massive pull that dropped her to the floor, and there it was, the cry of Leclerc. Everyone all relieved and shocked and excitement. After a few minutes, everyone had left. And I died again. But this time it was just my mum and my nan praying. Well, that's what they thought. When the pastor had got home, he felt in his spirit he had to come back because something was not right. He came back and saw I was dead again, joining in prayer, praying, praying, praying. And there it was again, the cry of Leclerc. I was resurrected. God preserved my life, not once, but twice.
Jeez.
Attention. The time sponsored by BYOB is 8:26 and 10 seconds. This is your artificial intelligence speaking. Many times we have been seeking words that you may have contributed. Love makes the world go around. Hope and the Himalayas continue to make us feel sound, or maybe grounded. Earth to this building that we walk for, as we search for mindsets where we go out and explore, explore, explore. The tranquility of life continues to incite abilities that ignite passions and transformations. What will you transform into? I'm not talking about these transformers that we see on TV, maybe growing up in childhood. Some that transform into these robots in disguise. These words sometimes colored in orange or hunger whilst we break fast. I can't read this word, but it reminds me of those times where we have to type in that code or pick those pictures that contain traffic lights or buses. There's just no way I can get this one right. Metamorphosis continues to transform all of this whilst we express ourselves. Some of us friends, some of us strangers, others of us really wondering if we could be a savior. But to who? To what? As we stand steadfast, we see majestic life continue to manifest at random coincidences. How did I find myself in front of the DJ? As beauty continues to be created, to be creative, we look for the metaphysical in this lighting. Maybe it's just magic. This is Diamond Bevell reporting live from BYOB on Monday the 3rd of April 2023, and the time is now 8:28 and 55 seconds. Thank you.
My name is, in fact, what's the point? You will only forget. Now, I'd rather use my last couple of breaths to tell you that I was a kid who rarely got fed. I ain't no Rasta, but my life was dread, you see. We had to add water just so that the milk could last. Don't let that fool you. See, I was hardly got to break my fast. My life was hard. I think if you hate your past, you're less likely to plan for your future. But I know if in life your path is filled with glass, well, that's just something your bare feet has to get used to. You see, life abused me, only you just see me as abusive. At the very least, weed abuser, used to dealing with users. One of those criminal UK youths you're used to seeing on the news, but do you choose to ignore the fact that I used to turn up to school bruised cause mom's boo would get high off the super drugs and stomp me with his boots? So mom used to tell me that they would take me if the socials ever knew so. By my mom, nah, in fact that term is loose cause it's more like by his wife I was groomed to be scared of telling the truth. So does that change your point of view, or are you set? I mean, what's the point of me telling you my name if you will only forget? The craziest thing is I'm so close to death, breathing my last breaths. This paramedic is pumping away at my chest, but the only thing that's going through my head is, please, don't judge me by this chain around my neck. You see, to you, it represents a life of crime, but to me, it represents a lifeline. You see, I've pawned it off, but bought it back twice. Each time covered me for the nights I couldn't afford a bag of rice. So even though I'm about to permanently close my eyes, please be more open-minded. Because this is deeper than the fact shallow is where you think my mind is. I think you need to value the importance of the fact some of the decisions I made, I didn't think I had a choice. You see, they forced us. I mean, we tried to run, only they caught us. I mean, now we're stacked in these high-rise flats like the slave ships in which they brought us. I mean, that's why so many of us hate your education. Who's Chaucer? I mean, I couldn't kick ball but left school to be a baller. I mean, that's why out on these fields is where I put my all in. I mean, I might as well use football terms as an analogy of my life. Because you see, out here, it's their team versus mine. We lost the last shootout. They were just defending, but no, we can't let that slide. Because out here, we're governed by the strength of these white lines. Fam, you should see what these fans pay for these lines, man. But damn, forget my name, stop quizzing. I mean, if only someone could premiere how I was living. At the very least, you'll be able to see how me and my rival teams compete in a league where we could all equally make peas if it wasn't for these divisions. You see, we came from nothing. All we had were ambitions. That's why every little we get, we want to put it on show. It's insecurity. I know I did everything to let guys know my clothes were cold. The first bit of pee I got, I threw it all in a car so I could feel like a Rothschild, and them man are slipping. Out here we operate in postcodes, no VAR, but you don't want to get caught offside in this big man city where we watch for the ops and the cops. The judge labeled me a shooter, so I spent time in the box. Yeah, team repping will have teens stressing on the wings, bro. I was literally about to lick my last shot, but that's when I got clocked doing a transfer through the window. You see, we've been low. Our yards are relegated. Sorry, that's mispronunciation. I meant to say we've been low. Our yards are rarely gated. That's why our goal is to cop a Newcastle. That spurs us on to chase the papers. Ironically, that brings the totty. Things start getting dangerous when they see you up west going ham. Best believe they start hating on these streets. Geez, the atrocities we commit for this cheese. And I ain't talking red Leicester, I'm talking when we see red, we grab the type of Arsenal that can open a man's Chester. Man, you guessed it. Me lying in this Liverpool has got me speaking this confession. You see, I don't know where I'm heading. I don't know if I'm the type that God lets in. It's got me paramedic. Maybe God will see that I fell because I was failed and let me up them steps. Maybe this is a story somebody else can tell. I hope it don't die with my death. You're gonna find my wallet in it, my provisional on it, the answer to your question plus my age and address. But give it a few days, there'll be another teen you failed to save, and my name, well, you will only forget. But please don't forget mine, it's Fury WD. I feel good, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not gonna lie, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, like, you know, 2 camera crew, like, packed crowd, like, yeah, who do I think I am? Like, you know what I'm saying? The haters, they're gonna be like, this guy, he thinks he's made it. This guy thinks, like, what, cause man did a couple shows on BT Sports and that, like, what, cause him and Benjamin Zephaniah, they call each other on the phone and that, like, yeah, what, cause man's got a bastard to his name and that. This guy thinks he's made it. Like, that's what the haters are saying, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'm too humble to say that myself, ladies and gentlemen. That's just what the haters are saying. You get me, yeah? Like, I'm mad humble. One thing, if this is the first time you see me, you're gonna leave here thinking, that's the most humblest guy I've ever met. I'm the humblest guy I've ever met, including myself. That's how humble I am, ladies and gentlemen. No, but in all reality, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, like, I feel so good to be here. Like, if you know me, you know I'm not the type of person that, like, pours out my heart. You know, I don't like to feel sorry for myself, but there's so many people here that I rate, that I appreciate, and I love. Like, I'm gonna be vulnerable for the first time, ladies and gentlemen. Is that all right? Can I be vulnerable? Like, 2019, I left a very well-paying full-time job to chase my dreams. It was November 2019. Like, things were going good. I started up a little video production company. We had a couple of projects. Everything was going great, and then bam, March 2020, lockdown. You already know how that went, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. One of the hardest periods of my life I've ever witnessed, yeah, like stress, anxiety, depression, whatever you want to call it. Like, I went through it, right? Because I recently became self-employed, I wasn't entitled to any government grants. I couldn't be furloughed. I didn't get no self-employment, no way of making money. It was crazy, right? And then out of nowhere, like, I started getting these wins. Like, I started getting these amazing opportunities that started coming to me. It was crazy. I couldn't believe how my fortunes kind of turned, yeah. And I was thinking about that this morning when I was like practicing my pieces and that. I was thinking about it, yeah. I'm not even like a religious person, that, yeah. I'm being so serious here, but Like, maybe I was in like a meditative state or something, but like real talk, I heard a voice, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I'm being so real with you. I heard a voice, yeah, it was like an ethereal voice, and this voice said to me, you see what you went through, yeah? That's what Anthony Joshua just went through, like, you get me, yeah? That's what the voice said to me, ladies and gentlemen. You know I'm too humble to compare myself to Anthony Joshua, ladies and gentlemen, yeah? But that's what the voice said to me. I was like, straight down, I'm like AJ, like, yeah. Like, I started believing the voice. I'm like AJ, like, we're identical, like, you know what I'm saying? And deep it, yeah, because like, I started doing the maths in it. I was thinking, oh wait, hold on. AJ was born in England. I was born in England, like, you feel what I'm saying? Like some of you I can see, like, you're thinking, oh, come on, Fury, like, you're reaching, like, no, there's more, yeah, check it, yeah. AJ is Nigerian. I'm Nigerian. Like, you get me? His favourite Nigerian food is brown rice and pounded yam. Those are my favourite foods, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I can see a couple of you, you're like, we weren't really feeling you on the English, but it's starting to make sense right now. I can see what you're saying, like. So I'm going to carry on, yeah? Remember the last time AJ had a fight, yeah? Like, not this one that just went, big up AJ, he won his last fight, yeah? But you see the previous one where he lost, he kind of had this like outburst, yeah? And I started thinking about that. And I remember in his outburst, he said something, he stood out to me. He was like, yo, Benga, G14, put your hands up. I was thinking, oh my days, AJ's got a cousin called Benga. I've got a cousin called Benga. Ladies and gentlemen, you see, like, we're literally the same person. So I asked this voice, I was like, listen, yeah, okay. Since me and AJ are literally identical, the same human being, yeah, how come I never went on to become the world heavyweight champion of the world? And he said, right, this is what happened here. So when God made both of you, he realized, yeah, only one could go on to be the heavyweight champion. I got to make one difference, yeah, between both of you, and that difference will secure who goes on to become the heavyweight champion of the world, yeah. And he said that difference is I'm going to give one of you the perfect hairline. Now, I clearly lost that one, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. I clearly lost in it, yeah. But what I realized is that, yeah, he has the ability to grow the full head of hair on his head. That's why he's got the strength. It's like Samson in the Bible, yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? He's able to take the punches and that, you get me, yeah. But what I realized is I don't have that ability, but I've got the ability to grow a full beard of hair. And he don't have that ability. And I realized all God did was he just switched the hair growing abilities around, ladies and gentlemen. He just switched the hair growing abilities around, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Now, God was like, listen, my son, I don't want you to feel that you don't have the ability to go on to be a champion. So I'm going to make sure that you always believe in yourself. I'm going to do something for you to ensure that you always believe you have the ability to be a champion. I'm going to ensure they refer to you as Fury. You see what I'm saying? As in Tyson, Fury. You see how we came full circle, ladies and gentlemen? You see how we came full circle, ladies and gentlemen? This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying, yeah? And the reason I told that story is not to big myself up. It's actually to big you guys up. Because I realized that the reason I was able to get through that madness is because I actually believe I was born to win. I believe I was born to be a champion. And I believe in life, if you want to achieve anything, if you want to win, you have to believe you was born to win. And I see so many winners in this audience, ladies and gentlemen, yeah. No matter what you're going through, it doesn't matter if you want to work in the public sector, private sector, creative industry, no matter what you're going through, believe you was born to win, and no matter what you're going through, you will persevere. If you believe you was born to be a winner, can I hear you make some noise, ladies and gentlemen? I'm preaching, ladies and gentlemen. I am preaching. Don't worry, the offering baskets will be coming around shortly. Donate to the Build Fury WD fund, you get me? I'm trying to be Pastor Rich, you get me? In fact, I'm trying to be Pastor Toby Rich. Now, you get me? No, he's Nigerian. No, I ain't gonna do that. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to move on to my next piece, ironically, is called Talk Too Much, for obvious reasons. You get me, yeah? She starts off by saying, Fury, I got a mention, and you're gonna think that I'm wrong for this, but you talk too much. Now, she probably meant to offend, and I would have got onto it. It's just the spoken word artist in me took it as a compliment, you see. I was like, B. These words have got me a buzz on these streets. Ironically, just like a bee, these days I'm only fucking with Sky and Buzz 16. I ain't talking Bluetooth when I say I can connect you to BT, you see. You're just dealing with the fact that I can talk for hours. That's true, but while all these other words pollute, my words pollinate it. You don't want to give me my flowers, it's cool. Because I'm secure, even in what others regard as my flaws. I mean, I know sometimes listening to me could be like answering 100 calls. It's just that my brain is like a home of phones. Imagine that's something you actually saw. Maybe it would leave your eyes sore, or maybe it would leave you in awe. I hope you still got that half of the ticket stub you tore. If so, let me take you on this tour. Where to begin? Something about not having a penny growing up poor. Sorry, my brain is often drunk off of the Henny I pour. My brain is often drunk off of the Henny I pour. In terms of units today, I've had about 4. I don't even know why I'm telling you all of this. 4. Maybe it's because I said saw, or, pour, 4. And before that I said, I know listening to me could be like answering 100 calls. It's just that my brain is like a home of phones. But what I meant was homophones, you see. I was talking like my brain was indoors. And ironically, you can't have a building without floors. So if talking too much is one of my flaws, that's calm, because that's the flaw that helped me open these doors. Did it with force, got nothing when I was polite. So of course I'm able to hold my own in a room full of whites, forcing them to see I'm more than just these stereotypes. Like I'm more than the fat black don't crack. I'm not boasting, but I'm more than just this melanated skin, so soft and so lotioned, yet so thick, because race is always shoved in our face when it isn't. Ooh, it feels golden. But we know England could play and Saka could score 3 out of the 4 goals, and on the next day front page, oh, it's Phil Foden. But that's something that words can't change, actions have to be put in motion. If you're tired of having your back against the wall like a poster, here's a bit of coaching. Proceed with actions after every single word that is spoken. Coming together is the only way to fix something that is broken. I grafted to be in this position. I'm telling you, it feels dope when your industry credit is the only reason they refer to you as the token. So, I talk too much, but with these words on my side, how can I fail? I mean, you better bet on these words, on some buy, then sell. If these words are training day, say I'm Denzel. Looks and words fly as hell. Just trying to bring Mumsy back the bag, YSL. No lies I tell, my words are growing shit, Clyde and tell. Soon it will grow my belly so big, I'll need a Ryan's belt. It's spectacular the way I'm able to switch up the vernacular. Like B, if your ears were next to me, whew, these inflections would deliver nothing but ecstasy. You would feel these words sexually. Because these words, they're sort of a soother. Like your fingers, her little thing starts clicking as these words settle on her medulla. Where does he's measure on the ruler? She starts thinking, so she calls me king. Did you guys drop the spin? I said, where does he's measure on the ruler? She starts thinking, so she calls me king like Charles, and I didn't even have to put the dick in, you see.
Jesus Christ.
I can't help it. I said, where does he's measure on the ruler? She starts thinking, so she calls me king like Charles, and I didn't even have to put the dick in, you see. I can't help it, it's just these words. When they leave my mouth, they automatically tell a story. Like imagine I became prime minister. I would see all my peoples living poorly. So I would change quite a few laws so that they could work for me. What I'm saying is I won't waste time chasing change and institutionalized racism. It would just be against the law. The words at the top of my first government report would be, I propose tax laws work for those who don't usually get the support. These laws will ensure my people financially mature so that future generations are secure. The campaign slogan will be on some uplifting shit like, of course we are for the few. And everything we do is to ensure they go from glory to glory. Does that sound good? Would you guys vote for me? Of course you would. But the question I'm trying to labor is, in third person, if this black man does everything in his power only to benefit his, by definition, wouldn't that make him a Tory? Uh-oh. I'm just saying. These are the kind of crazy shit that goes on. I mean, to comprehend the things that go in my brain, you're going to need a triple shot of Ray. Sink that. Nothing less than a 10,000 word essay. Print that. It's going to get political, so set up the think tank. You see, we don't deal in emotions. All we do is think facts. That's why these words flow so good together. Check the syntax. But the most important thing about words is to reflect. That's why we always got to think back. You see, a lot of people say my words are highly rated. It's just not everybody thinks that. And that's cool. Not everybody's going to like you. That's one of the first things you learn in school. So, if this winner is ever rambling on, use your inner Grammarly to tell me. I don't mind if your words are strong. I will just use my words elsewhere. And for you, I'll make sure they're not that long. But every pro has its con. Something they say a lot where I'm from in life. Sometimes you don't know what you've got until it's Fury WD. But ladies and gentlemen, I've got one last piece for you. Before I go, hold on, because I think I've literally got about 3 minutes left.
Hold on. Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen. So, all I need for you guys to do is keep your ears on my rhymes, but keep your eyes on the time. You ready, yeah? You ready, yeah? Okay. A lot of the time when we're up here, we've got about 3 minutes to spit. That kind of had me wondering, what would I do if I had 3 minutes left to live? Shit, I'll probably chill back, sit. 3 shots of Remy in a glass grip, taking sips. I'd stare outside of the window from inside of my crib. I'd look directly at the sun so we could see my life eclipse. And even as it's burning up my iris, I would still feel irie while being blinded. Without closing my eyelids, I'll reflect on my life and all the things that I did. And that's when it would hit. 3 minutes left to live? Shit. All this chilling back, that's a slip, my G. I need to get the fuck up quick and delete my whole internet history, you see. Mum don't need to know that her son had a fetish for chunky chicks with the tightest holes, or 6-foot chicks with the tiniest toes, or chicks handling dick while doing the dishes in the sink. Now, I only can see a couple of you judging me and shit, but if I only had 3 minutes left to live, you think I'll be worried about what you guys think? If I had 3 minutes left to live? Shit. I'll be outside a mahogany door now. Please don't think I'm I'm a misogynist, but I'll bang it down like I was the law. 2 lanes will open up. One will be wondering what all this is for. That's the one I will turn to like, my Sharia more, right? Gotta give this to you raw. See, it's been about 4 years that I've been listening to countless ways I could contort your body into different sexual positions. I've had an itch to witness you in eternal bliss as your skin glistens from the heat generated from all the things I did in between your hips. The way I'm attracted to you is a myth. There's one time I saw you walking. You were eating a pack of Walkers. It's one of those with the crinkles in it. And as you bit, one of the ridge got caught in the corner of your lips. And I thought, shit, what I wouldn't give to be that piece of crisp. See, I wish I could spend time telling you how much I love you, but I've only got 3 minutes left to live. And I spent close to a minute telling you all this. So babes, if you feel the same, we're gonna need to set pace. I could already tell by that look on your face, you're one of those sensitive types. But there ain't no time to cuddle up. You're gonna have to tell that inner lust in you to hurry up. Plus what I'm about to say is kind of fuck this just. I gotta give it to you straight, because if we ain't careful then a whole other minute will have gone to waste. So if it's okay, and this is poor to suggest, in fact this is gonna weird you out, but I think that we should do it right here on your doorstep now. Before you react, just hear me out. I ain't trying to disrespect it. I can see you're getting vexed, but baby girl, check it. We're dealing in seconds. I spent close to a minute telling you the truth. A whole other minute would have gone by the time we're undressed and in the mood. There's no time to make it to your room, because I'm trying to give you at least 30 seconds, boo. That's when she'll be like, true, but you said we got 3 minutes. By my calculation, that means there's another 30 seconds we can use. That's when I'll be like, oh, I thought you knew. On my way here, I texted your sister. See, I'm trying to give her at least 30 seconds too. If I had 3 minutes left to live. Shit. Now, in all seriousness, I'd say, God, please forgive me for my sins. Let every metaphor land. Let every punchline hit so everyone in the crowd will say, it's a shame how he went out on stage. But mate, his last 3 minutes, well, they were lit. Time.
It's the way we speak about love, the way we smile when we talk, or the way we raise our voices when we say their name, you know, but not just like a question, you know, but like that way. It's the way we shine when we explain the day like we are radiating, like we're reflecting what we feel. It's the way we shift our weight from feet to feet when we try to deny it or play it off. Like the date we just had was, you know, just okay. And we are just okay. And you know, everything is just okay. It's the way we don't use new words like plum or excellent or lovely or so when we tell you about what we mean. It's the new bounds in our steps that we want you to ask of, just so we can say, what step? I don't know what you mean. It's the joy we're too flooded to hide. It's the tomorrow that we can now describe as hopeful. It's all of the good things we pour into our world. It's how we are unable to hide it or undo it. Thank you.
So this piece is called a Cat D. Hey, listen up. I'm talking to you. Are you on a Cat D or Cat Infinity? Fucking with a right off. Can't you see this dude is literally written off? Treed, you so cold, I thought you had a cough. Yes, he's the only fit for scrap heaping on the garage. This one is more than a full service. This MOT has really passed you, being hella taxing and using you. So much stuff underneath that really needs work on. Never knew how much you're stylish. Straight off the showroom floor, kept all your goodies, no mileage. While he's constantly stays on the roads. Thought he was a different hood. Barking up the wrong tree, expecting he would. But never truly. Lay you underneath the exterior. His body showed you that he could be dealing with a person that's used to a hit and run. Forget taking the cheese, but you didn't think you'd get bun. So how was you gonna have you covered? Fully comp in his presence, but you're more than fire and theft. You're aside to the other things and he gives you what's left. Ain't hard to be really attached to. The labels, the badges, you're used to fresh whips, but I'm not talking about the latest cars. Love means you hide under the fresh lick of paint to hide the scars. When it keeps on happening, will you stop looking at the year, letting them treat you a certain type of way because of that play? Not everyone that you give attention to is worth that date. Why are you letting him lease this when you can't afford the higher purchase, can't afford the stamp duty, but you let him drive down the market price? He was a dog, but you didn't see him itch. He was a dog, but you didn't see that until he gave you the itch. So you gotta be that nice. I know it was fun rubbing bumpers till he took off of yours. Need someone that puts you on a podium and shows you that little trophy that needs to be on scores. When he drives by quick, it's hard to see his flaws. Can see he's stalling. No gas clutching on what needs a pause. Forget boy races. They're breaking hearts and they do cars. Not one, but you. Him speaks everything as ours. You need to find the right driver. That's right formula that sees you as the right one. In scale electrics. Or have to go around in circles 500 times. Relationship is NASCAR. Always been turning, never look right, it's always going left. Don't crash and burn till he gives you what's left. They bring out a new model every year. You gotta be a phantom, ghost in your Casper when you need him right here. Have something for you. Watch when he vanishes but can't suddenly appear. Doesn't have to be a sequel. You're moving fast and furious. Curiosity to kill the cat, but you still on that D, hoping you're still curious. Can't always see what you're looking at. Cloudy at times, hidden and overcast. Work on something custom, and you might have a chance. Hey, ain't no option for most of us when we broken. It's because it becomes hard for you to get it and see. I'm RAC, see the recovery in me. Cat D, Shepherd Box.
Mountains of thoughts in my head, voices speaking. High in the clouds, volume loud and seeking meaning. Discipline comes to mind when I'm fainting. For a high not so natural like a drug addict. I might add to my own pain when I'm thinking. You see, I'm a thinker, but I found meaning in freedom. Listening to divine communication within me, that's my reason for choosing discipline. And becoming a disciple of self from God, who expresses within all of us in mysterious ways. Now, this moment will forever be marked in time and space and history, God's way. Heart beating on my chest right now, but I'm alright though. Real life. That's it. Big. Oh, the first one, that's the time.
Theme for a night?
Yeah.
Theme for a night.
Yeah, sure. I made the beat, by the way. Vision Night on YouTube, check me out. Yeah. Okay. Turn me up. Heart beating on my chest, but I'm alright though. It's okay not to be okay, and that is right, bro. Light the sun, I'm gonna shine, call me Michael. Before I go to bed, kiss my girl, good night, yo. Yeah, she said, Vision Night, you the GOAT. I said, thank you for the compliment, She like everything you do, really dope. I'm like, thanks for the compliment, You're witnessing raw talent mixed with confidence. You know I'm the flyest alive, if you got common sense. Work a mind, make a scream my name. I'm dominant, that's the way I'm gonna do with this thing. I'm not for Mel, you can bet on me with every cent. I'm ever sent, money can buy you happiness. True joy is something that can't be bought or spent. It comes from within, in time like sentiment. I used to trip about women, but now I'm standing now. And if them girls just toxic, I can't stand them now. They must be stopped like them trolls hanging on my sound. The one of me out of character, but I'm not hearing nothing. Cause my heart is beating out of my chest. But I'm alright, yo. Yeah, you alright? Check it out. Heart beating out of my chest, but I'm right though. It's okay to not be okay, and that is right, bro. Like the sun, I'm always gonna shine like a Michael. Before I go to bed, kiss my girl, good night, yo. What watch me laughing out loud. Kevin Hart show, I'm trying mansions with temperance and my chest out. Call me Bobby Fischer, the way I open up his chest out. If life is love and war, then I'm constantly on the best route. Yeah, I'm a bad boy killer, like to pack, and that's the beat. I'm a monster killer, like with Tank. Yeah, I'm gonna go a cappella, going off the dome. I don't need to write when I grip the microphone.
My friend once said to me, if life gives you lemons, make guava juice and make them wonder how the heck you did it. At first, what I thought they meant was wing it. But after some thought, I guess what I think they really meant was don't be a victim to whatever it is you perceive as a limit. Be creative and bend the laws of physics and amaze the world with whatever it is you've produced once you've finished. I mean, I like the idea of fruit, so in that spirit, since I'm a wordsmith, I thought I'd spin it. Now, there's no way for you to get to know me without my roots. And they say you can always tell a poet tree from its fruits. So here's my truth. Sometimes listening to poetry could be like eating food through a straw. Very difficult to get it all in one. Some even find poetry quite melancholy. But for me, I find writing and performing my poetry a ball of fun when done in jest. And I, for one, am certainly grateful for this opportunity to display my zest and parade my best foot forward now that I guess the time's right. And now you can all see how sweet the English language could be now that a poet has stepped into the limelight. I mean, it's pretty cut and dry that poetry is the apple of my eye. And that's probably why I've been on this rant, and I hope you can see why I've had to cherry pick and marry these words together, because they cantaloupe. This is not just art. Honey, do you see this is my calling? They say you have to practice what you preach, so I see poetry in all things. Now, I would tell you what my Granny Smith thinks, but her choice of language is rather appalling. Spoken word, we all do it, regardless of the way we use it. But words are an expression of my soul, and you can take that as you wish if the shoe fits. My art is far from fruitless, it would appear. No, that's not the line. Completely said the wrong line. My art is an expression of my soul, and you can take that as you wish if the shoe fits. My muse is amusing. When I'm in tune, I could squeeze creative juices. And if I blend these words and rhymes, they might just go down a smoothie. So as you can see, my art is far from fruitless, it would appear. Spoken word, we cover all topics, raising awareness on current affairs. These words aren't just plucked out of thin air, I'm sure you would appreciate. Even though it has some old-fashioned roots, spoken word is cool, and that's true to this date. Something that date? No? In times of need, poetry's like a friend to me. Some do it for the art, others do it for the laugh, but for me, poetry is therapy. Spoken word, it's so great. I just hope one day it could take me far though. It's just so versatile and creative. It could drive you crazy even if you don't have a car though. It just... stretch, it's a stretch. But it's a good stretch, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't have a car though.
It's a bougie stretch.
It's a bougie stretch.
Yeah?
It just gives me this tingly feeling from my head right down to tomatoes. Tomatoes. It's quite ironic how I'm a poet and a spoken word artist, but I just can't find the words to describe this feeling. There's just something about watching crowds go bananas because they find my wordplay appealing. I hope after hearing this, my poetry will make you feel some type of way. And I guess if it hasn't, well, at least with me, you can say you've had one of your good days.
I wake the wrong side of the bed. Testing my stability, thoughts in my head, clenching my chest. I search for answers that never present, because all that is left a wardrobe of mess left untouched. Stressed silky dresses, unloved, it's enough to take my strength and sanity. As I desperately search my mind for a memory, but this travesty has made my life a painstaking melody, a minor scale piece, fueling my anxiety. And naturally, I project this anger on society, unrightfully hurting those who show kindness. It's unjust, undignified, unrighteous. Despite this, these are my coping devices. And you'll find I'm imprisoned in my mind, but I can't escape. Steel bars keep my thoughts at bay, locked away, I'm far from free. Mind-numbing meds are a short release. You see, there's this grey cloud that follows me. Unlike any grey cloud before, this raw wind of numbness doesn't just knock at the door, it knocks it down with no account for the amount of torture I've had to endure. This grey cloud isn't just passing by, it's a toxic lullaby. Present from morning to night, disguised as a voice of guidance with my best interest in mind. But you'll find it's a voice of darkness that you can't run or hide from. But Mum always knew the right things to say. She just had this way, no matter what time of day or how fast her cancer spread. She made sure the thoughts in my head were encouraging, instead of the grimacing grief that has been left. 2 ticks, message received, but not read. But wait, it connects. That isn't entirely correct, because with her last few breaths, she left a departing gift, one that can be seen ever so clearly. I sat beside her, tears strolling down my face heavy. There was nowhere to escape. I was left staring death in the face. And then the most remarkable thing occurred. Absurd in all her tiredness and pain, she gathered what strength remained, grabbed my hand and squeezed. The pain in my chest eased. I was coated in protection for as long as I need. Thank you.
My name is Mei Sing, M-E-I-S-I-N-G. That's you can find on Instagram. Yeah, so this is for the ladies, the women, but for the mandem. Okay, bringing the femigy on stage.
Femigy, I like that, I like that.
So this one's called Re-Education of Sex Ed. From young, we are mocked, shamed, and embarrassed about our natural state. Renaming our anatomy with cute tags doesn't help us, but to later destroy our health. So instead of nun, pussy, or cunt, we will name her vulva. I know, some of you are thinking, what the fuck is that? Let me start off to say, she's not a vagina. That is the area where penetration takes place, and clearly where some of you don't know how to respect or embrace. Because when she grows her luscious, healthy hairs, don't be quick to cut them and go bare for the sake of pleasing someone who barely knows where your clit lies. I mean...
Tell him again.
You guys need to do better, I'm sorry.
Jesus.
I mean, let's be real. It's happened to all of us. Meeting these uneducated guys who are quick to jump in your pants, then realize you haven't shaven, so it's a quick kiss and goodbye.
Jeez.
Well, if the shoe was on the other foot, who would be the one giving us a weird look? I suggest he goes and picks up a book and understands the nooks and the crannies that, yes, there are different shaped fannies. I mean, vulvas. I promise to keep my terms straight in order to fulfill and create a better education. Because most of us are mistaught and misled when we are faced with sex ed. So no wonder why most guys you hop into bed with only want to please themselves. And why most women never experience an orgasm, but can always ensure he receives one for himself. You see, when you sleep with someone, that's an exchange of energy. So before you feel like you're blessing her temple with your chemistry, eject yourself before you release some of your biology inside of her. That's just simple physics.
Jesus.
The same way you came in, you come out. And if you need assistance, just give us a shout. Because not every woman wants to plump herself up with fake hormones. So Don't assume she's okay with accommodating your unwelcome sperm. And baby girl, please, don't hesitate to speak up and say, because he's not wiping those eyes of yours when you're doing the baddest galore. In fact, he's probably instructing you on how to satisfy his needs. When in all honesty, it's a bit rich from someone who barely knows where your clit lies. Like seriously, I'm not actually saying that, these guys. The audacity to leave her on red, because now you're empty, you can just hit the pillow and go to bed, never fails to amaze me. I think it's about time we reverse the roles here. Next time he trails his tongue to your flower, ensure he devours it. Moisturize his face in the best organic serum that there is. And all you gotta do is lay back and enjoy his shift. Reach to your destination and then without hesitation roll over and act like you just offered him the best donation. It's like I can hear the screams of men eager about now. Who cares? Who cares if she gives you blue balls? Who cares if she makes you feel like a fool? Because that's what you've been doing all along to our community. Wow. Oh, but now you want to start talking about unity this and unity that. But it's not always about slating uneducated guys all the time. So big up the man who know how to treat their lady. I know there's ones out there who put in effort for their baby. They're probably thinking, I'm definitely not involved in this conversation. I shed blood, sweat and tears when I do the hard work of operation. Well, pass those tricks to your boys. Because we're tired on using the same old toys and it's just not the same. It gets a bit boring like playing Jane or and tell him to trim his fingernails. Tell him to trim his fingernails before his fingers trail into my great walls of China.
Jesus, say that again, say that again, say that again. That man of pure line.
Tell him to trim his fingernails before his fingers travel into my great walls of China. Yes, I am talking about my vagina. No, but for real, find out what the clear is, please.
Oh.
Thank you.
I had a conversation with the other day, we hadn't spoken in a while. And he was like, what's going on in your life? Let's catch up with that sort of good stuff. And I was like, fam, is it okay if I refer to you all as Mandem? I know it's ladies and gentlemen. It's cool. Thank you. Actually, Mandem, in the corner, have you ever liked to go? Yeah. Really? So you know when I say Mandem, there's this girl, fam. You know that one's there? So Mandem, there's this girl, fam, and she's not my girlfriend, but she's more like my muse. So when I look at her, I see art, and it's not the type you can quantify or monetize and set up auctions. Now, it's the type you just admire from afar. You know, you don't get too close, you don't ruin it, don't touch, don't fuck it up. But I think there's more to it than just a pretty face, you know, there's substance. The icing is cake, and I say if she had eyes, she'd never choose me. But even still, I'm hoping that she does. And truly, I don't think that I've ever been in love. And I'm not saying that I am, but man, then there's this girl, fam. She's not my girlfriend, but feels like when I'm with her, you know, I can't stop smiling and my heart isn't pounding, you know, I feel at peace. When she talks, I cling on to every last word and play it back in my head a couple times, let it repeat, I feel at peace. It could be one phrase or a whole entire speech, I still take in every word that she utters. The voice notes could be 3 seconds or 3 hours or 3 minutes, I'd still listen. I'm so smitten, I swear it's me that Cupid's got, bruv. And I'm not saying that this is or is not love, but man, then there's this girl, fam. And she's not my girlfriend, but it feels like when I'm with her, you know, I can be open. You know, it feels like I don't have to mask my emotions, worry about a struggle to formulate a sentence or a stutter, you know, it all comes easy to me. And if she sort of fell through my lens, it'd be easy to see that she's a 10, but instead I lie and say that she's a 9 and I know what she needs, so she doesn't leave, but she's a 10. You know, even if her moves at a 3, she's a 10. Even if she doesn't like her eyes like I do. You know, I don't think she likes her voice like I do either, but she's a 10. Even if she finds it hard to talk about her feelings, she's a 10. You know, even if she's still healing from her past, even if she's drowning inside and her tears could fill a bath, even if she's covering her scars, she's a 10. You know. And I call her an idiot a lot, you know, just in, you know, I think she underestimates her intelligence, you know. I think the A in her name stands for amazing. I think she's caring, kind, compassionate, nice, clean-hearted, fine, benevolent. And I think if you multiplied her worst traits on her worst days by 10, she'd still be a 9.9999999999999. 9. But in truth, she's perfectly imperfect, so evens out at 10.
Jeez.
And as long as she's in my life, I can never lose. So, man, them. I'm telling you, there's this girl, fam. She's not my girlfriend yet, but is she my muse? Yes. Because when I look at her, I see art. Thank you.
Jesus.
Steering into a saucepan on lazy Sunday mornings, milk bubbles, aromatic, tea leaves, cardamom. White full-fat milk turns brown, no kettles. Liberated from LDN's hard water, born of this island's hardened hearts. Milk softens hearts, softens calluses, originally hardened in response to partition. Once again, at the mercy of oppressors, lecturing us on cricket tests. Colonizers innovate sports, we perfect and subvert them. The empire strikes back.
Exactly.
Lacquered spheres spun uniquely like my Ummijan's tales. Nanajan breaking off chapatis, soaked in shorba, bone broth infused goodness. Ghee clogs my arteries, yet each morsel expands my heart. Buttered toast, dipped in doodh batti. Tea, no water, milk-based. Pour into a saucepan. Add leaves, cardamom, oil. Tea, remixed, reimagined. Our oppressors lack imagination. We lack inhibition. Palms, fingertips, knuckles, multiple touch points create percussive sounds on doubler skins. Newham. Poetry recited, songs sung in Tower Hamlets after a long day of exploitative labour. Slow crawls with Ummijan, Green Street, dhania, coriander, freshly picked, sensory overload, pierces wormholes and folds time and space. Return back to her flat. Empty milk bottles sit on the kitchen top. No milk for my crunchy nut cornflakes. I'm bereft. Unable to regulate my response and emotions. Early signs ignored. Survival prioritized. The reason Nanajan had no milk was because he was busy creating daily reminders in his saucepan of who we really are. Because being English is not what got us here. Thank you.
Can we talk? Can I ask you a question? Two of the most repeated phrases I hear when my silence is causing an unusual sensation in your belly, deep down in your soul. Sometimes it's simply a lump in your throat. At this point, it infuriates me because I know the conversations have already been had. I know the questions have already been asked. I know the answers to those questions have already been given, but there was no interest shown at the time I was withdrawing these words from my soul. So now I realized I was just speaking to myself, not pouring my heart out, but simply devaluing the contents of my soul. There was no importance placed on me telling you how I feel, what I feel, why I felt the way I've been feeling. Because in the same way I was taught to never feel, it's the same way you were taught to never understand me as I'm regurgitating these feelings, whether or not they burden me. Because I wasn't shouting, my words held no meaning, so they are of no value to you. That's the script you were given. Me expressing myself without it being an argument, a disagreement, without it being off the back of some awkward moment isn't real, so it is ignored. Me being comfortable and civilized in this costume, which is my skin, automatically makes me invisible to you and your conscience. I just want to judge me as soon as I step through the door. No matter how important what I have to say is, it is of little or no value. because I articulate myself in such a way that doesn't match the face that is attached to this mouthpiece. But let me help you pick your disappointment about the floor. Why are you so focused on being master of emotions? Using them as overseer to control our every interaction. Your every interaction. Is this a script you were given? Your free use of your emotions has caused them to lose their value. This irony is nothing new. So no, I'm silent. And there's value in my silence. And it came at a very high price, one that not even I can afford, because with every second of silence it is purchased for with the value of time. Time that is now being ignored, time that is forever lost, wasted away, so valuable, but I happily squander it at the drop of a dime, watching its contents drain away. The only time I'm heard is when my silence is driving you insane. Again, it's a you thing, never for my benefit in any of the presented case. And it becomes a phase where you only listen to respond, and I get a rerun of what caused me to initially shut down, and the cycle keeps spinning with its intended motion. You playing your part that has been programmed. I, the co-actor, doing an equally brilliant job. My silence is indeed golden. Situations around me, I use them as collateral. I'm truly afraid that I might not be able to undo some of the damage that has already been done. My silence can be a weapon if I choose to. But no, I use my silence to heal my wounds, because whenever we speak, our conversations only seem to cause new ones. Can we talk? Can I ask you a question? Yeah, I'll be RVJ. Big up, bless. Thank you.
We have Grad next. See, I die in these rooms. Nevada don't come with great tunes or silver spoons. No mushrooms or ketamine free me from this hellish dream. There's methamphetamine on your TV screen. But these walkers telling you white lies just to keep the peace. They wage the wars but the poor souls can hardly eat. The cost of living won't leave enough for your ends meet. A pound of flesh until your death in this ghetto streets. See, I tried to leave, but Africa was too far for riches. When there's no coke in the kitchen, and a broke choke for a mention, and a Pope hopes for a blessing. Let my lessons pass to my children, that generations of trauma can be cured without a killing. Let the just escape their lynchings, cause black boys are more than apes but princes. I say the message so we can end the offenses, and rise like Caesar to go ape on you. Fools, protect my words like your jewels, or smuggle them like your tools, or fresh water for your souls. See, I crossed the Rubicon, but couldn't find a safe haven like mom's home, there's no rope to hang me on. See, I sang a song, but lacked the voice of sweet Simone. For strange fruit to blossom when they are fully grown. I don't feel good, but use my heart to belt the psalm. Like daddy's palm, I never switched unless I was wrong. Come on. Your flowers bloom in these dark rooms. Will butterflies ever emerge from the cocoons? Will coons ever stop selling out their brothers? Will mothers ever stop losing their firstborn in this war-torn internet age? So feminists lose the sentiment when fathers are in pain. We just shot to the game. I pray my daughter never sees my daddy in me. I pray my wife never loses sight for the better me. Cause my destiny leaves I can end with poetry. In tragedy, straight poetry. Like Robert Foster was always cold to me. Two roads diverge between heaven and we. Robert Foster. But hard and hearts don't become soft in the Garden of Eve. Where people eat an apple like it fell from the tree. Self from the tree, but sit back to reap what they seek. Love. All these violent delights have violent ends. I can't shine if I never had light. I can't find grace if I never had faith. I can't break chains by shackles, generational pain. Maybe I'm too lazy to be great. Maybe I can't love from the safe. Maybe heaven's gate's the only thing that awaits. A wretch like me, singing hallelujah as I hang from the tree. This place is not made for the meek. So I watch the massacre as I try to find my seat. And burn bridges like I'm a slave diving in the sea. I get scared when these emotions leak. Do you care when I speak? Or you just fear when I think?
I was on my balcony and there was a lady. I don't think she was trying to be naked at me, but she was.
I'm done.
So my mind, this story came about. Anyway, trust, David. This is the punishment I get. Seeing a Sheba naked on her balcony showing me breast. I'm a sucker for a Hershey Kiss nipple. I'm dribbling on her body, I'm nibbling. Sexual alchemy. As I was slamming her, she was slamming me. She said some shit like Bukusa. I could have sworn she spoke in Mandarin. Jeez. He came through the door while we were watching Easy A, 8 minutes earlier than his predetermined ETA. Next thing I know, punches wham, but I dodge them. My eyeline, you keep on dodging, so I know you ain't the man. So keep the threats coming. I ain't bothered, even if you came with as many people as So Solid. But that's a lie.
That's a lot of people though.
Trust, but that's a lie. I'm more than likely get touched. But because your female friend says you're a fascio, I'm not fussed.
Hey. That's a old school
This guy's a joker. This guy's a joker. Or Benny took that be Wayne's brother, but the type without a penny or a single Wayne's brother.
Jeez.
Thank you.
I told them our hair is a love language. It's never too much. See, doing our hair is acts of self-love. You can look, but like Solange said, don't touch. The strands, the roots are the sacred parts of us that run deeper than a comb. History says cane rolls is how we found our way home. It's time to let you know. My hair is not only the crown, but it's the whole throne. It's royalty, yeah. I'm gonna say that again. My hair is not only the crown, but it's the whole throne. It's royalty. And if you copy my hairstyle, I'm gonna need some royalty.
Hey! Run the check, innit? Run the check.
I don't know if you have time yet, but I did want to perform this one. I got this new book.
Hey, sick.
It's cool.
Accordion vibes.
Yeah, that's what it's called. I don't know what it's called, but yeah. Alright, so this is about my house, yeah? And it's this feeling that you get like when you're in your 20s or 30s. Whenever you move out, you're just like, okay, I can't wait to move out. But it's this feeling of, you know, like, well, I'm actually going to miss this. So, yeah, this poem is to my house. Dear house, I love how you welcomed me. Dear house, I always knew where to find you, dear house. Thank you for the years, dear house. I miss how you made people fall down the stairs. If these walls could speak, they'd probably show you how bruised they are, dear house. I hope art is the way that you remember me. Remember we had an art gallery in the cupboard. I drew on the walls. I grew too tall to fit inside it. Never mind, it's called the Fruity House. I named it this way before I knew what fruity meant. Dear house, I miss the time spent. When I went to uni, it was like I forgot to say goodbye. I returned 1 year later and said, Mom, I tried. I read a quote that said, doors have eyes too. I wonder if they saw me going, and if handles had hands, would they have held the door open? I'm sorry you had to see me go twice, but I'll visit. Every time you pop in my brain, we swapped the word street, and now you live on memory lane in their house. When the new neighbors move in someday, love them like you love us. Support them like you support this household's time. I always felt like the hands on the clock are the most precious hands that will ever hold you until you grow. And as I grow, you always give me space and room. I thought I had all the time in the world, but 24 years just came too soon. So we call it 206, guys.
True kings don't ask their soldiers to go to war. They go to war and their soldiers follow them into battle. When we spend so much time inside, we stop taking care of the outside world. We gave smoke to an old alcoholic. Your blood is wiser than you are. Rich in history, yet the descendants are still poor. A broken man has never felt his soul. He only knows the fragments of the self that he forgot. Into anxiety, doubts, and regret. She isn't the one. She is one of many I will come to know and leave behind. What is the purpose in chasing love when love lives inside of you? Every day, all the time. Help us. We were scared.
We were alone. We felt neglected. Our trauma holds onto us like the hugs we always needed. Still waiting for a hero and be your own one.
Yeah. Okay.
The damsel in the castle was left there by her own free will. The prince was there to remind her that there is no man that can save her from her own self-pit. Why? That there is no man that can save her from her own self-pit. Why? Cry into a pillow when you could scream into it.
Excuse me.
Say it
again. Damsel free will.
Show up. That's
Show up.
Oh, never mind, I'm not saying it again.
You know what I said. You know what I said.
Pits. Why? Cry into a pillow when you could scream into it. Your vocal cords are strained from the frustration you couldn't say. They sing humble melodies to remind us. They sing humble melodies to remind us that they're...
So you got it. You got it.
They sing humble melodies to remind us that we are not alone but lonely, reckless and guarded regardless. Thank you. Thank you for being the memory I couldn't and for being the lesson I needed. Thank you. It's enough to be enough. Love lies in loathing. Love lies in liberation. JK.
You got this, bro.
Love lies in loathing.
Love lies in liberation. Right, thank you. Okay, got it. Thank you for being the memory I couldn't and being the lesson I needed. I want to grow and learn from them. I mean, that is what I prayed for. I am a child with and never without. I am full to the brim and my stomach never an empty casket. Kings are the representation of their people. We are a monarchy without the right to be selfless. If only I thought about myself less and thought about my people more. If only they listened to the truth of their ancestors instead of taking on their pain. An open heart bleeds more than a closed one. And every open heart sparks, every open heart has a spark that is lit a flame to be free. That is not a reason to sit on the throne and to throw my love out for my people. We are broken-hearted, traumatized and tarnished. Angels cannot fly with broken wings. We cannot mend ourselves if we are destroyed by our trial and error. An error of broken queens creates an error of broken kings. I am an angel waiting for my wings to grow back. My head heavy from this crown made of medals of my valor. I've missed the sky's knowledgeable songs. I missed the kiss upon the wind upon my face. I kiss the breath of the deep blue sky. Tie me down with forget-me-nots. I am living in the memory of my future self. To be human is the greatest gift of all. To be the caretaker of the universe is the gift, if seen as one, not a bird then. Fly into the nest of your dreams and count to 10 those broken wings to fly again. Do not lose hope. You're more than what you believe. The question is, what do you believe? A king's smile is his shiniest armor, his best protection from his pain. Tell me if my $1 million smiles amounts to $1 billion checks. Check up on me even when you miss me, but I'm sure you won't. I don't post on socials anymore, and I don't post on blogs either. I guess that's just my kind of post-traumatic stress deliverance. Thank you so much.